Hello, I'm an avatar and I really love animals. Crazy, right? But stick with me because this video could change everything for the animals. So you're in the shop looking at chocolate. You spot one that looks tempting. £3, but right next to it is dairy milk and is cheaper. Well, you'd probably choose the dairy milk. It's half the price and you know it tastes good. But what if I told you that blind taste tests prove some of that expensive chocolate actually tastes as good as dairy milk? And the reason it costs more has nothing to do with quality. It's because your taxes are subsidizing one and not the other. You're being ripped off by a dodgy government system. Let me show you what I found, because this is going to really annoy you. But first, does vegan chocolate actually taste as good as dairy chocolate? Because if it's rubbish, then yeah, you might as well stick with what you know. The Good Housekeeping Institute got a panel of taste testers to try 25 different vegan chocolates. They were looking for smoothness, that melt-in-the-mouth texture, proper cocoa flavor. The verdict was many of the vegan chocolates were described as imperceptibly close to their dairy counterparts. Creamy, smooth, and really chocolatey. But it gets even better. An expert chocolate taster did a blind taste test, comparing vegan chocolate to dairy chocolate. All our favorites from milk chocolate, sea salt chocolate, chocolate with nuts, everything. And guess what? The vegan versions won 5 categories, dairy won 4, and 1 was a tie. When people don't know which is which, vegan chocolate actually performed better overall. Surprised? Why not try it yourself? It genuinely matches dairy chocolate for taste. So, have you ever tried chocolate that turned out to be vegan and didn't even notice? Drop it in the comments below. But if some vegan chocolate tastes just as good as dairy chocolate, why does it cost so much more? Let's talk for a minute about what's actually in chocolate. Well, chocolate uses cocoa beans, sugar, and cocoa butter. Dairy chocolate adds cow's milk. Vegan chocolate adds oat milk, almond milk, or coconut milk, depending on the recipe. In the UK, dairy milk costs around 79 pence per litre, oat milk costs about £1.24, soya milk costs £1.05, depending on where it's bought from. So yes, vegan milk costs a bit more, about 30 to 50% more, but chocolate bars don't use that much milk anyway. Most of the cost is in the cocoa, but the milk difference doesn't explain why vegan chocolate costs a heck of a lot more. By the way, prices have gone crazy recently. Between September 2022 and September 2023, cocoa bean prices rose more than 80%. Much of this price increase can be attributed to climate change, droughts in West Africa, aging trees, disease, etc. It's affecting all chocolate makers. But if cocoa prices are high for everyone, why is vegan chocolate still much more expensive? They're both using the same cocoa beans. And if you're thinking, yeah, I've always wondered why some chocolate costs more, please hit that like button. It helps me research more topics like this. And if you want to join our fight for the animals, or are just curious about living more cruelty-free, please hit that subscribe button as well. Okay, here's what the research shows. Vegan chocolate costs more because of 3 main reasons: small batch production, higher marketing costs, and no economies of scale yet. Dairy chocolate companies like Cadbury, Galaxy, Nestle have been making chocolate for many years. They make millions of bars. They can negotiate cheaper prices for ingredients. They've got massive automated factories that run very efficiently. They can spread costs over huge production runs. Vegan chocolate companies are much smaller and newer. Companies like Love Raw, Vigo, Nomo, they're making way fewer bars in comparison. They can't get the same discounts on ingredients. They're using smaller facilities that cost more per bar to run. They have to spend more on marketing because people don't know a lot about them yet. They're also investing heavily in research and development to get the recipes just right. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, that makes sense. New product, smaller scale, costs more. Fair enough. But hang on, there's something much bigger going on here that nobody really talks about. Before I reveal why you're really paying more, take a guess in the comments. Is it just economies of scale, or is there something weird going on? Right, here's the scandal. It's your taxes that are subsidizing dairy chocolate. Not vegan chocolate, just dairy chocolate. How is that even fair? You'd have thought that the Competition and Markets Authority would be all over this, but, well, that's the government for you. In the UK, we spend £700 million a year subsidising animal agriculture. That's your money, my money, everyone's taxes going to make dairy products artificially cheap. Meanwhile, vegan producers get practically nothing. It's even worse over in America. The US dairy industry received $43 billion in subsidies in 2016 alone. 42% of dairy producer revenue came from government support. So when you're in that shop comparing prices, you're not seeing the real cost. You're seeing the subsidized price versus the honest price. Dairy chocolate looks relatively cheap because we taxpayers are covering part of the bill without even buying chocolate. This is exactly what I found with vegan burgers too. The government subsidizes meat and dairy, making them seem cheaper than they really are. It's like putting solar panels on the luxury tax list whilst giving coal plants a rebate. It makes no sense. And here's what really winds me up. Vegan chocolate uses vegan milk. Those oats, those almonds, those soya beans, they're crops that use less water, produce fewer emissions, and need less land than dairy farming. A glass of cow's milk has at least 3 times more greenhouse gas emissions than any vegan milk alternative. Yet we're subsidizing the environmentally damaging option and making the sustainable option more expensive. The government keeps banging on about reaching net zero emissions, but they're actively making it harder and more expensive for people to make climate-friendly choices. How wound up are you about this? Drop a comment and let me know if you think this subsidy system is fair. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but farmers desperately need our support. Farming is incredibly tough, margins are thin, and disaster is never very far away. Look, I'm certainly not saying take subsidies away and leave farmers to struggle. What I am saying is redirect those subsidies. Support farmers to grow oats for oat milk, almonds, hazelnuts, the ingredients that go into vegan chocolate. Give them financial support to transition without losing their livelihoods. That would bring down the cost of vegan ingredients, make vegan chocolate more affordable for everyone. Now let's get real. Everybody needs good chocolate. So, let me show you which vegan chocolates are well worth trying. For budget-friendly options, check out Co-op's Gianduja chocolate. It's about £2, smooth and silky with hazelnut paste. Taste testers said it's very similar to the much more expensive Vago bar. Nomo is widely available in UK supermarkets, nut-free and gluten-free. Their chunky bars are about £3, but you get a serious helping of chocolate. If you want premium quality, Vago is incredible. Yes, it's nearly £4 a bar, but the taste absolutely justifies the cost. It's also wrapped in compostable packaging too. Loveraw does brilliant dupes of Kinder Bueno and other classic bars. Their cream wafer bars are about £2.50 and they're so good. For dark chocolate lovers, Lindt has vegan options in their excellence range. And here's a tip. Most dark chocolate that's 70% cocoa or higher is already probably vegan, but always check the label. By the way, I've been busy behind the scenes for the last 5 years, setting up an online vegan shopping centre, and I've put together all the delicious vegan chocolate recommendations at my website, Vegan Supermarket UK. Just so you know, I may earn a small commission if you buy something, but it doesn't cost you any extra. The link is in the description. Now here's why I think this matters. Every time someone buys vegan chocolate, the demand increases. As demand increases, those economies of scale start kicking in, production increases, costs come down, prices start to drop. Actually, we're already seeing this happen. 5 years ago, you could barely find vegan milk chocolate. Now, major brands like Galaxy, Lindt, and Cadbury are launching vegan ranges because the demand is there. The vegan chocolate market is booming, growing at over 13% per year. That growth means more investment, more production capacity, and eventually lower prices. But it'll happen faster if we sort out this ridiculous subsidy system. Imagine if those £700 million a year went towards supporting sustainable agriculture. Vegan ingredients would get cheaper, vegan chocolate would get more affordable. Farmers would get support to transition to crops that actually have a future. And look, if you care about animals or the environment, that's a huge win. Choosing vegan chocolate means no cows kept pregnant, no calves separated from mothers, no animals treated as milk machines. It means lower emissions, less water use, less land needed. But even if you don't care about any of that, you should care about being ripped off by a tax-funded pricing system. Next time you're choosing chocolate, you'll know why vegan chocolate costs more. And maybe, just maybe, you'll try one of the brands I mentioned, because they genuinely taste good, and that's what matters when you're buying chocolate. Thanks for watching, and if you want more videos on living cruelty-free, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Just to be clear, I'm an animal lover who uses AI to help research and fight against animal cruelty, but every word here comes from my genuine passion for helping people to live without causing animal cruelty. Now where's that chocolate?